Okay, I think I just saw Jasper in the house. And my screen is, oh, here we go. Can't see the rest of the chat there. Okay. Hunger is a cheap place to live. It could well be, Jasper. Could well be. Okay, folks. This is episode 28 of TrampCast. I am Delta Mike, and the channel is Down and Out in Torrevieja. Down and out. A hobo, a tramp, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode, a homeless person. That would be me. Torrevieja, that's a city on the southeast coast of Spain, Costa Blanca South, in the Alicante region. Okay, I hope we've all enjoyed our Easter break. I've not really had one. It's been the same for me as any other day, or the same as any other days, I guess would be the more correct term. But there you go, that's life as a tramp. Easter's no different from any other day. Okay, folks, a bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already, can you do us a favor? Hit the thumbs up. If you've seen more than one or two of my videos and you haven't subscribed yet, why not? It's free. Borrowed that one from Trevor Coult, C-O-U-L-T. Have a look for him online. Trevor Coult MC. Tell him I sent you. He won't have any idea who I am, but you know, whatever. Okay, folks. I'd appreciate it if one or two of you could share the video out there, either during the stream or perhaps after. Just put it out there on your socials, on your Twitters and your Facebooks and wherever else you may hang out these days. I don't even know the names of these places. Okay. For those of you that are here right now at 3-4 minutes past the hour, you can ignore this next bit. But if you've just started watching this and you're late, I might be still broadcasting, say, an hour into the show. Check in the bottom left hand corner of the player. You're looking for the word live and a red dot. If you see the word live and you don't see a red dot, you need to click that, either with your finger or your mouse, one or the other, and that'll bring you forwards and mean that you're watching the live part, so that if you take part in the chat, you're not responding to something that was said an hour ago. Okay, folks, where are we? As I say, this is episode 28 of TrampCast, and we begin, as we usually do, with some facts, some tidbits of information about the episode number. So in this case, episode 28, so the number 28. Here we go. The number 28 is a triangular number. If you add up the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, you'll get 28. In a connected, mathematically connected way, there are 28 tiles on a domino, in the game of dominoes, because you've got basically the numbers 0 through 6, and you have a combination of each and every one of them. So for 0, 0, 0, 1 through to 06, there are 7 combinations. When you next come to do the ones, you've already done 1, 0. So the first one had 7 combinations, 6 combinations, 5, 4, 3, 2. You end up with the triangular number 28 as the number of tiles. It's known as combinatorics in maths. There are permutations and there are combinations. Don't get me started. Okay, so number 28 is a perfect number. This is a number where you take all of the divisors, in this case 1, 2, 4, 7 and 14. You ignore the number itself in this instance, but if you add up all of the divisors of 28, you get 28. The first number that does this is the number 6, if you add up 1, 2 and 3, which are its divisors. So that would be the first perfect number. 28 is the second. So you learn something every day, guys. You're learning from a tramp. You lucky people. I don't know. Okay, some less mathematically based ones, because I don't want to bore you too much with maths. Or math, if you're American. It's plural, guys. Mathematics. So maths. I don't know. Should we start an international incident? Okay. It is generally believed it takes 28 days to cure concrete. That is to let concrete fully dry and harden. Just a little tidbit of info there. There are 28 days in a month, which is the proper word for a month, before we start messing about with calendars to add in emperors' names and things. I don't know. There were 28 days in months once upon a time, because a month was the lunar cycle, and there are 28 days. That's why a month is called a month. It is a month. Now you know. In a not totally unrelated factoid, the surface of the sun rotates every 28 days, and the sun and the moon are kind of tidally locked, so there's probably an interplay there. You know that the moon rotates itself, not just at the orbit around the Earth, but it actually rotates, but it happens to rotate at the same period that it goes around the Earth, meaning the same face always presents to us. We only ever see that one side. The other side isn't dark. It gets just as much sun as the side we see. It's just that we never see it, so we call it the dark side of the moon. Okay. One here about phones, international phones, the international dialing prefix. So the America is 1, the UK is 44, Spain is 34. The number 28 is unassigned. No idea why. Couldn't find any info on how or why. Maybe it was assigned to a country that no longer exists. I don't know. But for some reason, plus 28 won't get you anywhere on your phone. Here's one for Spain, for the Spaniards or the Spanish residents amongst us. The postcode for Madrid is 28. I have no idea whether that's prefixed with zeros or not. But apparently the postcode for Madrid is 28. Okay. If you're converting between grams and ounces, or pounds and similar, 28 grams makes an ounce, approximately. Just to help you Americans, converting from freedom units to real ones. Again, I'm going to start an international incident. I can feel it in my bones. I've been arguing on Twitter, folks. What can you say? Okay, the periodic table. We've always got some chemistry in here, and we always will have until we get to episode 128 or somewhere around there. I think they're up to at the minute, with the hypothetical elements. So 28 in the periodic table is nickel, and I think now for the 4th episode in a row periodic table. Science, folks. We're dealing with metals, and again, nickel is a silver metal, and for the 4th time in a row, it's used. One of its heavy uses is in stainless steel, but its more important use for most of us is its use in coins. In fact, in America, don't you have a coin called a nickel? Nickel and dime. Are they the 5s and 10s? 5 and 10 cents? I don't know which way around's which. No, Tina, go. Tina. Hey. Let's have some quiet. Let's have some quiet. Let's introduce you to the star of the show. Tina girl, you gonna come here? You gonna come here, babe? Let me reverse the camera. Let me reverse the camera. All those people, they want to see the star of the show. And did you know, guys, it's her birthday today. Hey, Tina, I should maybe have announced that at the start. Here's my girl. Here's my girl. Hey, hey. She is 8 years old today. Shout out in the chat for Tina. Happy birthdays in the chat. Hello there, Taylor. Taylor Tube HD. Are we far from Villa Martin or Villa Martin? Quite a way. Quite a way. We're kind of almost on the border between Torrevieja and La Mata. So yeah, it would be quite the walk to get to Villa Martin from here, or to get to here from Villa Martin. Edits for you. Hello. Jasper, I already said hello to my friend. Hello. Okay, folks, where were we? We were in the middle of, before Tina interrupted, we were in the middle of nickel, which, as I said, is used, because of its strength, it's used for coins. It's hard wearing. It doesn't wear away easily. And this is one of its main features, and why it gets used in such things as I say, coins, but also in wires and in turbines. It gets used in jets and in rockets, also in armor, nails and pipes, because the hard-wearing nature. You want something that doesn't corrode and wear away. It's also, when used in alloys, resists salt corrosion really well. So it gets used a lot in boat propeller shafts. So I'm told. I know nothing about this. I read all this morning or yesterday. It's also used a lot in desalination plants, where they remove separate the water from the salt. Okay, folks, that was the number 28, and this is TrampCast episode 28. How are we all doing? Have we all enjoyed our Easter? Let's have some chat. Let's have some interaction with the chat. Harry and Jill. Hello there. Tina, Harry and Jill say happy birthday. Harry and Jill. Yeah. Show you her again. Just because I can. Here she is, look. Looking out of the door in the nice new tent. She likes to bark at people as they walk by. That's my girl. That's my girl. Let's have a look here. How's the audio, guys? Can you all hear me okay? I have to press this again to make it visible. Don't know why the chat won't just stay in place. Kind of times out after about 5 seconds, and I don't find any setting to make it stay. Hope shoestring has gone missing. That's lost me. Shoestring. Lost me there. Okay, folks, what's next? Getting to know you. Oh, shoestring. I'm good, Harry. I'm good. Or is it Jill? Which one of you's out there? Is it both of you? I'm very good, my friends. I'm very good. I haven't seen you for a while. I haven't seen you in the chat for a while. No Easter eggs this year, I'm afraid. I did get a bar of chocolate, so that's okay. That's okay. Hey, babe. Tina had a little bit of chocolate. Both of you are here. That's good. That's good, my friends. Used your trolley again the other day. The water is back on at the foot wash place, so we were able to go and fetch some water. That was, I think it was Tuesday last week. We'll get there. Don't get ahead of myself, look. So guys, next up is the getting to know you section, and I don't really have much, I haven't got any questions per se, but what I thought I would do is tell you about me and AI art, me and artificial intelligence art. If you've ever had any interaction with me, no interaction with the business this week, with the police this week. But I did call this particular episode the Guardia Sizzle, which is a pun, a joke on Guardia Sizzle, based on bacon. Because I released the snippets from the show 2 weeks ago now, isn't it? I'm behind with releasing my snippets. I want to get back up to date. So I want to get this next week. I want to release all the snippets from last week's show, and then get some cut out of this week's and released as standalone episodes. I hope you're right there, Cadillac Grainer. I hope you're right, and it appears that way at the moment. No comeback so far. But as I've been warned, it's not impossible that they could come back with documents that they say are from the court. And it's even been known for them to use fake documents. But I will get a lawyer to check over them, and any such deceit will be captured and caught and dealt with. Okay, folks. As I said, I haven't got any questions, but if you guys have got any questions for me, I'm all ears. This is the getting to know you section, and was originally meant to be more interactive. So yeah, AI art, folks. AI art. You know what? You go that Bing has an add-on, and you can just tell it, give it an idea of a. So, for example, the picture that I did of a pig in a police uniform, I just gave Bing some words, and it created that. And if you've ever met me in person, you know I'm quite a sarcastic person. I got quite a dry sense of humour as well. So those things combined means that I can just come up with an idea, almost just a pun, a play on words, and I can have the AI make some pictures. So a few examples, I can't show you here, but if there's any interest, I can cut them into a video, just like a slideshow video. And if I'm paying for a lawyer, I expect them to be on my side. Anyway, back to the AI art. So a couple of examples, a couple of ideas. So Conan the Barbarian, I got about 10 different images out of this one. First I started with Cannon the Barbarian. It's a man on a horse with a big sword, but he's got a cannon for his head. Cannon the Barbarian. And you just say this to the AI, and it makes the pictures for you. I did another one, Conan the Barbarian. So that was haircuts for warriors. Conan with a big sword, but with clippers, ready to cut hair, like a barber, you know, hairdresser. I did one that was a bear, as Conan the Barbarian. So if there's any interest, I've no idea if there is or not. I put these out on Twitter every now and again, if you follow my Twitter. But if anybody wants, I can throw a few together just as a slideshow video, just to show the kind of silly ideas, the silly things that make me laugh. Yes, I would have to. Tina girl, come here, babe. Come here now. Come here. Tina girl. Dog. Tina, come here now, please. Come on. Oh, dog. Tina, come here. Thank you. No, just lay down and be good. Just lay down and be good. Sorry, folks. Who was asking that? I think it was Tom, yeah? I haven't got the right to stay in Spain. I'm not here legally. Long story. It's all in TrampCast 001, my first live stream. But basically, I came here in 2016. And if anybody remembers 2016, there was a lot of uncertainty. I came here in the February. The Brexit vote was in the June, I think June the 19th, if memory serves. Which was after I'm supposed to like register after 3 months. And all that uncertainty, all that, you had Brexit happening. Spain was in the middle of 3 general elections because they couldn't get things sorted this end. We had Brexit going on. We had US elections that were on the horizon, and all sorts could have happened with Britain and when Cameron stepped down and all the rest of it. So the whole world was just uncertain, and I hesitated. I didn't make a decision about whether to register here for tax purposes and residency and all the rest. And it's one of those classic things, you snooze, you lose. Once you hesitate, it becomes difficult to go back afterwards. How do you go back a month or 2 late and say, yeah, you know, I should have registered before last month, but I didn't, and it all just became more and more difficult. Yeah, once I can get things sorted out with my other legal situation here, I will go back to the UK. I have to get this legal thing sorted. To get this legal thing sorted, I have to get my money, because I want my own lawyer. I'm not sure quite where we're going there. It's my home. The UK is my home. I'll have to go back there. I don't really get to choose. I expect as well that once I'm kicked out of this country, I will be banned from the Schengen area for some limited period of time, or maybe an unlimited. I got the stabbed part, yeah. But yeah, guys, I don't know. That's it's all up in the air still. I've got to get access to my money, and then I've got to get a lawyer, then I've got to get this legal thing sorted, and then I've got to get the fact that I've overstayed and my visa, which was granted when Brexit officially happened. After a transition period, I was, in theory, granted a 3-month visa, which technically I've outstayed. So there'll be repercussions from that when it comes time to leave. I fully expect to book a flight, turn up at the airport, get escorted into a side room, miss the flight and have to book another flight later. Because I doubt there's any way to clear this up ahead of time. I doubt there's anywhere I can go and just say, it's a fair cop, gov, I'm about to leave the country, but can we sort out this immigration thing before I leave? I doubt that will be possible. It'll probably all just take place in a darkened room at the airport when it's time to leave. So we'll see. All these things hanging over me. Sit it out in Spain. Can't stay here forever. One day I'll have to go back and get work and, you know, get money and things. I can't be a charity case relying on you guys forever. Life doesn't work that way. Speaking of which, if you guys watch this long enough, I know typically people watch 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes of this show, if you can call it a show, and you dip in and out and maybe come back and watch later. I'm about to hit the lowest level of monetization on YouTube. This video and today's viewings with my video should carry me over the final qualification hurdle that I need, which is 3,000 watch hours, 3,000 hours of people watching my videos. I'm currently on 2,985, I think it was. So overnight, you know, when that statistic gets updated with today's viewing figures, that should, if you guys watch enough of this show, that should carry us over the final hurdle. It's not the best part of monetization. That comes probably in a month or two when I hit 1,000 subscribers, if I ever hit 1,000 subscribers, because I keep losing you guys. Like at the minute, I'm on 780. It was last night. It was 788. But a whole bunch of you have unsubscribed. I must have offended somebody somewhere. Maybe with my bacon comments. See, now anyone offended by my attitude towards the police should go and watch last week's episode. In particular, the getting to know you section, I think it was. It was, because the question I asked myself, or that I was asked by somebody, was, am I anti-police? And in that episode, I explain how I have basically saved at least one policeman and possibly 2 policemen from death. Not anti-police. I'm anti-excess authoritarianism. I'm anti-tyrannical behaviour. I'm against the way that the police seem to view the laws as something that they get to hit us with, but that don't apply to them. They don't have to follow the rules. And that attitude of that the law is something that we hit you with, but that doesn't apply to us, that I'm against. That's basically tyranny. So yeah, we need a police. There has to be a police. But I've just covered why I didn't go for residency in 2016. That was just the uncertainty in the air generally. We didn't know what was happening. I didn't know whether I wanted to be permanently resident in Spain or not at that time. Things were all up in the air. I hesitated. I wanted to decide later because of the Brexit vote and everything else that was happening. I waited. I waited. I wanted to wait and see. And by the time you've left it too late, it's difficult to go back and do things after the event. I just kind of got stuck. In my own mind there. Okay, folks. Where are we now? Okay, that was the getting to know you section. I think we covered what I needed to cover. The questions that you guys had. Take a look at my AI art. Let me know if anybody wants to see some of my silly little pun kind of comedic images. And I might just put a video out there just with a few on if there's any interest. Next up is the thank you section. And after recent weeks where the thank yous were it was a long list, we're back to normal now. It's back to a more manageable list of thank yous. So on the PayPal side, just the one donation this week, I think, and that was Helen. Thank you, Helen, if you're out there. I don't know if I haven't seen you this week so far, I don't think. I haven't seen you. But I appreciate the gesture. But anybody, I say this to anybody and everybody. Take care of yourselves first, folks. Don't go sending money to a tramp if you're struggling to get by yourself. You know? Charity begins at home. Take care of yourself. Make sure you and your family are all okay. Then if you've got anything to spare that you feel you can spare comfortably, you know, without worrying about yourself, then send me, you know, or think about sending me $5 or $10, euros, pounds. But only if you've got it, only if you feel you can spare it, only if you want to. No obligation whatsoever. I will survive. I have done this far. Okay, folks. That was the on the PayPal side of things. Now Mark came by again. Mark's been to the camp, I've lost track now, I think it's 5 times. And he came by this week on Wednesday, because Wednesday marked 10 days from when the Guardia Sizzle initially told me you must be gone in 10 days, or we want you gone in 10 days. So Mark came by to check that I was still here and that I was okay. So thank you, Mark. Thank you very much, my friend. And there's one other thank you here. This was a little bit different, and I didn't get a chance to get this guy's name even. Spanish guy, pulled up. We were having coffee on Friday morning, Good Friday, just gone, and it was like 9:30, and this guy pulled up in a car. He waved at us, waved at me. I got my mate to hold the dog back, and I went to meet him, and he gave me a bottle of beer, a cold bottle of beer. Guys, I don't often get a cold bottle of beer, you know? But it was 9:30 in the bloody morning. What do you do? Dilemma. Breakfast beer is the best beer. That's all I can say. Probably just lost another 3 subscribers. I drank it slowly, folks. I just sipped on it as the morning progressed, as the sun was overhead and getting warm. It was a nice warm start to the day, at least. And yeah, over 2 hours or so, I drank a bottle of beer because it was cold. It's the law. In this position, someone gives you a cold beer, you don't just put it away and wait for it to go warm. You don't have it while it's cold, folks. So, random Spanish guy, I thank you, my friend, and you're never going to see this, you're never going to know anything about this, but I salute you, sir. Although, what the hell are you doing with cold beer at 9:30 on a morning? I don't know. Them's the breaks, folks. Okay, other thank yous. You guys for being here. Because I rescheduled at short notice from the usual slot on Sunday to today. Because the wind was picking up and, well, partly that, and partly I hadn't actually managed to get my notes done. Hello there, Stephen. I hadn't managed to get my notes completed yesterday, so that was part of it. I would have been having to wing it and do things from memory. And if you've been here a while, you'll know that my memory's not the greatest. So I need my notes. But that wind was starting to pick up. Wasn't as obvious as I would have liked in the video that I made explaining it, but it was a one-shot take kind of thing. Just do it and hello in Durham again. Is that the name of the place? Durham again. So yeah, folks, I thank you for being here. And if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't said happy birthday to Tina, then say happy birthday in the chat, please. She'll appreciate that. I'll tell her later when she stops barking. Took her out for a walk this morning, guys, and I think I've left my shirt out there. I remember getting warm in the sun with my shirt, and this afternoon I'm looking for my shirt and I can't find it, and I'm wondering if I took it off when I was sat on some chairs on the cliff tops. I may have, because I was thinking of taking it off, and the next thing I remember, Tina was battling to get to some other dogs, either to kind of be best friends with them or to have a fight with them. You can never tell with Tina. So I was just thinking of taking the shirt off, and she started pulling, and I don't recollect whether I'd actually taken it off or not. All I know is I've looked around here now and I can't find the damn thing. I got this red one that I've just thrown on the floor. I got this red one. I got a green and black one, kind of the same but green, obviously. And it's just not here. And my last recollection of it is having it on going walking. So that's a bit annoying. I do tend to just throw these things on like now when it starts to get that little bit cool. The weather today can't make up its mind. I closed the door behind me about 5 minutes before starting the show because the sun had gone in, it was getting cool. Then the sun came out and it got like a greenhouse in here. So I was a couple of minutes late starting the broadcast, the live stream, because I had to fasten the door back, to open the door and tie it back. I don't know, folks. But yeah, thank you guys for being here, and thanks for hitting the thumbs up. Thanks for sharing, subscribing if you have. If you haven't, come on, folks. You know you keep coming back. You know you're going to come back for more. Just make it easy on yourself. Hit the subscribe button. The thing about poisons, my friend, poison's all in the dosage. The amount of chocolate versus the size of the dog. She likes it, so I give her just a tiny kind of shaving off the corner. She's fine. We've been doing it all her life. Everything's a poison. Water's a poison if you drink enough of it. Poison's all in the dosage. Okay, where are we? We just did the thank yous. So that leaves us now. Themes for the week, folks. Themes for the week. I've got a couple. I'm not sure quite how much I want to say on here, because we're in the open. We're in the clear. We're in public. Yeah. So the major theme for the week has to be the wind and the weather. If you've seen any of the videos, earlier in the week when the tent was almost rolling over, it was being hit from kind of square on this side. It's been hit sideways on. The tent is 7 meters long, and it was being broadsided by the wind from over there, from out there. Oh, there we go. Back to me. So yeah, we were being really hit. If you see those videos, I mean, I was sat here with my back to this wall. I turn the chair around for the lighting when we're live streaming. But I had my back to there, and the tent was bowing in about 18 inches and kind of smacking the back of my head, which is ridiculous considering that we've got carbon fiber rods literally bent in half, bent double. That's the frame of the tent, and the thing is just coming in 18 inches. What's that? 50 centimeters, let's say, half a meter, and smacking me on the back of the head. Not good, and it's been windy to some extent, I think, every day, even on the nice days, even when we've had the sun. We've had some days with 35 or 40 kilometre an hour winds. So yeah, it's been a battle, because my tent pegs, well, the tent pegs that came with the tent, some of them are bent like a question mark, and some of them are bent like a number 7 now, and others are just bent over almost in a U shape, because the ground here is rock. Once you get down more than an inch, it's 50-50 whether you're just going to hit bedrock. So trying to put a tent peg in at 45 degrees and get the guy lines tight to it, and have the tent peg not just rip out of the ground with the force that's been put on it, it's difficult. So it's been a battle, it's been a struggle, and I think I've ended up with them too tight, and I am, if the wind stays died down tonight, I'm going to release them, but it needs a little bit of extra work, because I have to in an emergency I just made a fixed loop at the end. It's not adjustable, it's just a fixed length, just to get them done and in when the wind started. Now I need to go and make an adjustable hitch, a friction hitch, so that we can loop the guy lines around the peg and tighten them or loosen them as necessary. I think it's called a friction hitch. Look it up, folks. I'm not a knots expert, but I can manage this one most of the time. Sometimes it wriggles away from me, but so anyway, the wind and the weather, rain on some nights as well, and of course the wind affected us yesterday, because I cancelled the TrampCast at short notice because of it, partly because of it. So that's been an ongoing feature. The Guardia Sizzle, as I now call them, the Guardia Civil, which are one of the Spanish police force type, Spanish law enforcement bodies. We have to get the term Guardia Sizzle, like in a frying pan. Sizzle. Guardia Sizzle. We have to get it ranking. When I did a search the other day, there were no results. I found the one search term left that Google didn't give any results for. So we got to get that. We got to get that. We got to get that term ranking now. Guardia Sizzle. If you can, after we finished it, just go to Google, do a search for it, find my video, and click on it, just to strengthen the fact in Google's eyes that that's where you want to go when you type that search term. Search engine optimization, folks. This is how rankings work. I'm not gaming the system, really. So the reason that the Guardia Sizzle or Guardia Sizzle are one of the themes of the week is because, again, it's just hanging over me. Are they coming back? If they're coming back, when are they coming back, and what's the outcome going to be? So every time I hear a car coming down this road, I'm still on edge. And as Mark pointed out when he came the other day, they said 10 days as their initial threat, their initial instruction to me. So I thought they might come back at that point, you know. As time passes, I relax more about it and laugh more about it, but I'm not laughing on the inside. It's still a threat hanging over me. It's still there. Okay. Now, along with these other factors, these other themes for the week, solar uncertainties. Is there something wrong with my new solar charge controller? Or my battery? Or just my setup in general? Because last week I swapped from a charge controller. So I've got two small solar panels that put out about 10 watts each. And they're in parallel, they're connected. I'm putting parallel to the charge controller. This charge controller can handle 20 amps of current. I calculate I'm putting less than 2, maybe 1.5 amps at a maximum of 12 volts or you know, however much over 12 volts solar panels might go. I can't be putting more than 20 watts in, so divide 20 by 12 and that's how many amps I'll be putting in maximum. 1.8, whatever, I don't know. But something, when I switched over from the other charge controller, just had the 4 lights display, if you remember. 4 lights! Jean-Luc Picard and all that. This one had a digital readout, excuse me, so I thought that would be better. And I've had a few nights where I've been running out of power. And my phone's taking like twice as long to charge up from the USB ports on the charge controller. So it feels less capable than the previous one. So I don't know. And also I did a video where the voltage was jumping about all over the place, like pulsing. So that's that uncertainty, that factor, the fact it's taking twice as long for me to charge my devices, even though it's supposedly a more powerful USB port on paper or on the box, you know. Chinesium instructions and descriptions. Things aren't always what they claim to be on the packet. So that's a thing. And just trying to manage the solar anyway, because we've had some nasty days with cloud all day or very little sun, the rain and whatever else, just makes managing the solar a little more difficult. I thought now in summer things would be easier. Longer days, clearer skies, more sunshine. I think I'm probably going to switch back to the previous solar charge controller. But I don't like to mess about with these things, because if one slip and you can break things or short circuit things or get things wrong, you know? It's all a little bit up in the air. Now, two other things hanging over me here. And one is the purchase conundrum from last week. I'm thinking of making a purchase. I'm on the cusp of pushing the button. But on its own, the purchase is no good. It needs other things with it in order to add the value that I wanted to add to my life. And I'm not currently in a position to push the button on those. So the when, where, why, the timings, the how to do it, the decisions about will it be worthwhile or not, that's all still drilling away in my head. And final theme for the week, old friends. The last 2 weeks I've had people turn up at the camp from my life before, from the before times, from back when I was a normal person, not a tramp. Some of them just knew me casually, but there's one guy that I lived with for 3 years. I don't know how much to say. You can imagine that when I was on the cusp of being homeless, I turned to friends. And they weren't there for me. Now it feels like he wants something, and he's turning up here wanting to be all pally and friendly. I'm being a bit cold with him. He looks like he's in need. There's something wrong. And he keeps inviting me to his, like, for breakfast, go and have a breakfast at his because he's got lots of food in. And I just keep saying no and sending him on his way. I've got this inner conflict, I feel like he's crying out for help, or he's on the cusp of. But I don't know that I'm in a position to be helping him, for one thing. But I'm bitter about the fact that he wasn't there to help me. And I think that means that there's no friendship there anymore. But I haven't just up and told him that yet. I don't know, folks. So are these themes, or are they just conundrums? Difficulties? Problems? Life is just a series of problems that we have to solve one by one. Okay, guys, that is the themes. So those are the themes for the week. Okay, I don't think it's going to be a long show this time. There isn't actually that much to get through, but we'll get on with it. Okay, folks, on 48 minutes, we'll make a start on the events of the week. So we'll start as we usually do with the previous Sunday after the TrampCast. And I kind of thought the show itself went okay, but I was a little disappointed with the viewing numbers. But I think it was to be expected because, like this week in a lot of ways, I left it very late to push out to create the stream in YouTube settings, and then to push out the notifications. Last week and this, I've left it very late, so that means lower viewing numbers. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, or rather, let me qualify that slightly. I was a little bit disappointed with the viewing figures live during the stream, but I think a lot of people came in afterwards and watched, over that first night. It gets a lot of views from people who have just missed it, maybe coming from work or whatever. So that was good. The viewing figures overall were good. It just wasn't as busy live. So we'll see if you're all still here in the chat and if anybody's saying anything. Okay, Stephen. Thank you. Thank you for that. Suggesting me to the Scottish couple. Okay, folks. As I said, that was the Sunday. I kind of just, as I always do after these things, I spend a bit of time watching the graphs because, that's just me. So that was Sunday night. Now, Monday, the week proper. Let's begin there now, shall we? Monday, me and my pal across the field we'd agreed we were going to go and get water Monday. They've turned the foot wash things on at the beach, which is where it's bad water, give you bad guts if you drink it, unless you boil it or treat it with bleach or with water purification tablets. But we've got bleach and water purification tablets and things, so it's okay. And we can boil it if we have to. And they've only just turned them back on, ready for Easter, at the beginning of what they call Holy Week here, Semana Santa. So the water was turned on last weekend sometime probably, and we agreed we were going to go Monday, but we took one look at the sky, and we both just said, nah, we'll go tomorrow, we'll go Tuesday. So that was the start. Just a dull, miserable, looked like rain. Not a good day for taking a walk and fetching water back. So it wasn't even a good day. It wasn't even a good morning to sit out and have coffee with Milado over the field there. So we each just sat in our respective tents, and I just watched a bit of TV. I downloaded a couple of programs not long ago, and because I've got a few gigabytes to spare, I have to get a slightly higher package than I would like because of this YouTube business, uploading and downloading gigabytes of files all the time. But it does mean that I had to buy the next package up, and that means I've got gigabytes to spare. So I download the odd TV series. Tina, go. Tina, please, quiet. Tina, come here, girl. Come here. Come here. No, just come here and be cuddled. Come here and be cuddled, cutely. Come here. Come and be cuddled. Shush. It's just nice people walking past. They looked away just as I waved. Steady. Sorry, folks. Dog has interrupted us. Where was I? Oh, watching TV. Yeah, I got a few gigabytes to spare, haven't I? So I got the gigabytes. I've got the solar power. I've got the phone. Thanks to I don't think I've done a proper video thanking Anita and Tina that bought me the phone. We must do that. Should add them to the Thankyous. Maybe I'll edit this into the Thankyous when I release it. Anita, Tina, thank you so much. You have no idea what a difference this phone has made to life from when I had nothing. And then you bought me a flask, a radio, and then this phone. Ladies, thank you so much. Wouldn't be here on YouTube without them, guys. Wouldn't be here without them. So yeah. So that was Monday. Just staying in the tent, staying out of the way, staying out of the weather. All Monday morning, just stayed in the tent. In the afternoon, there was a little bit of sun. So I decided to put the solar panels out. Although it looked iffy, it looked dodgy. But I thought I'd give it a go. And in the end, I sat and had an afternoon coffee with the guy over the way. And a couple of times the rain would start. I'd bring the panels and the battery box in because I've got the lid off. Kind of, it's not watertight as I've got it because I need to get into it for the USB ports. So we're back and forth a couple of times. But then get this. After the rain, we decided in the evening to go to Mercadona just for a few supplies, a bit of bread and not mortadella. What's the other stuff? Chorizo, bread, chorizo. I think I wanted some mayonnaise, that kind of thing. And on the way there, I saw something next to a bin. I thought, what? We took a look. We took a walk over. I pointed at it and we walked over. Television set. I thought, wow, television set. If ever I get my Jackery or EcoFlow, television would be nice for an hour every now and again. Maybe just for an hour or two on a Friday night or something. And I said to Milado, I said to Joby, If that's still there on the way back, when we come back from the shop, I'm going to grab that, because one day I might have enough solar power to make that work. So yeah, well, on the way home, we stopped by the same bin, we came the same route back, and there it was still. So I grabbed it. Now, the obvious cautions, the obvious, what's the right word? Can't think of it. But the obvious things to be aware of. It's been thrown out by somebody, so it might not be working. It's a small one though, and it's this time of year, Easter, people come here for their holidays and upgrade and throw things out. This is why I got the two sunbeds, the two reclining, you know, the sun lounges that go around swimming pools. Someone's put them out. I got 4 chairs for the around the patio furniture, and now I picked up a TV because someone might have just been upgrading. They put the TV out, they've carefully put the remote control with it, balanced on top, with batteries in still. There's a good chance it still works. I won't know until I get some electricity here. I'm not saying anything more, except purchase conundrum. No, I was tempted to tell you more, but I'm not telling you more. So anyway, Monday night, went shopping, came home with a TV for free. Don't know if it works, but I have every confidence that it might. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay. More rain. More rain in the evening. But okay, I watch a bit more TV at night, and as has become my my habit lately, fell asleep in this chair. Guys, I've shown you this. For anyone who wasn't here, I'm in a tent, and I've got an armchair. Can you see that? I've got a carpet as well, a rug. How best to show you the rug? Nope. Here, I got a nice big rug. There's a coffee table, complete with a cup of coffee. Oh, which I can't reach. Hold on. Rug, coffee table, cup of coffee, laundry bin, bloody big chopping board, come tray, and an armchair. Aren't I a lucky boy? That's not bad for a tramp. All those months I spent living in this field without even a roof over my head, without a tent, without even a tarpaulin over my head. Now look at me, living like a king. King of the tramps. You know, it's not ideal, guys. We've still got the rats and the mice. Although you'll notice they're not in the themes of the week at the minute, because we're for now they haven't found their way in through the hard plastic floor and the other things that we put down underneath. Although I think I hear some kind of scratching under my bedroom. I'm gonna have to watch that. Okay, where were we? Falling asleep in my chair Monday night. I woke up. I fell asleep fairly early. I woke up at 11:30 that same night, feeling like I'd had a full night's sleep. And now, in some ways, that's a good feeling, but not if you're then awake most of the night, which is what generally happens with me. So, woke up at 11:30, took the dog for a walk somewhere around midnight, and then bad weather still, folks, so just inside and sat in my chair again. Sat in my chair till probably 3 or 4 o'clock. So Tuesday morning, cloudy and windy again, but we'd agreed we were going to go for water. So off we went, the two of us, me and the other guy. I got my trolley. Harry and Jill, if you're still here. Are you still here? Harry and Jill with the source for the trolley. Solar generator, Steve, would be the term for the EcoFlow or the EcoFlow or Jackery. These are things that I'm looking at as possibles. I'm saying too much already. But anyway, Harry and Jill, once upon a time, when they first came to see me, when they first arrived, they had this trolley with them, and they brought a trolley of goods. I'm going way back. I don't remember. June, maybe July last year. And they arrived with this trolley with full of goodies, and I unloaded the trolley and kind of said thank you very much and kind of went to give them their trolley back. The trolley was for me. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much. So off me and Milado, off me and my friend went with the trolley, and we had 4 empty 8-litre bottles, 8-litre water bottles empty on the trolley, and he had 2 in a bag over his shoulder, and off we went. So we came back with 48 litres of water, and I thought about doing a second trip, but I figured that we'd just, we just gone from having very little water to having lots. Should have been enough for me to wash my hair for once. Still haven't. I've lost track of how many weeks it is now. I got some clothes that need washing as well, but only a few because the last time Karen was here she washed them. Not the last time, the time before. But I've got a few t-shirts and socks and things that need doing. I'm going to get on with it. And maybe then, after I get the next batch of water, maybe then I can finally wash my hair. It's not going to happen, folks. Now, you wouldn't believe how long you can go without washing it. It doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit greasy, maybe, but, Okay. Oh, this was the day when the wind started. And, well, when the wind, really started. It's not that kind of generator. It doesn't make any noise. It's not petrol or diesel. It's just solar. Tina girl, let's have some quiet. Okay. So, this was the one. Have you seen the video where Tina steals my seat? We're outside having a coffee, and I've put the solar out, and I'll turn around and Tina's not there. And when I look inside the tent, she's jumped up on my chair, and she's kind of sitting proud in my chair. Queen of the camp. Queen of the camp, my girl. So I did a quick video of that, I think. But as I said, the wind was starting to really build. This was when we were starting to hit 30, 35 kilometers an hour winds. And it was, I'm not sure how well I'd got the tent tied down at this point. I think a couple of the tent pegs, they turn around. Imagine a tent peg that's like a number 7, and you put the point down and towards the ground and you've got the string hooked around, but then it turns. And when the wind blows and the tent and the cable move, it just loops off. It just comes off. It just pulls off the 7, off the tent peg. Which is why some of them have had to be bent over a little and hammered into the ground. Needs must, folks. Needs must. So yeah, Tuesday, again, in and out with rain. I'd take the solar outside. It'd start raining. I'd carry it all in. In and out, in and out. Sometimes if it was just light rain, just spitting, I've got a waterproof coat that I just put over the box outside, over the battery box. Cover the battery and the charge controller. If it's light rain, I'll just leave it out. But when it starts to hammer it down, I have to bring everything in because it's just because of the way I've got it at the minute, with the way the wires are going in and the way I've got the lid off, it's not quite in the condition of as when Mark and Jeff gave it to me. And I do owe Mark and Jeff an apology. We'll come to this because it's I think this was the Wednesday. So we'll get to it in a moment. So here we go, guys. I've had the solar in and out with the sun. Every time the sun was out, I've got the sun was shining, I've got the panels out. And there's been quite a bit of sun, despite the rain and the wind. There's been quite a lot of sun. But I bring the panels in and the battery box, and I'm charging my phone on an evening, and I've got my phone up to 50%. When I hear that distinctive bloop kind of noise that you get when the power cuts off, like when you unplug the power cord from your phone. And I haven't unplugged the power cord, it's still in. But the battery box, the charge controller with the USB ports, has decided the battery is now too flat. It won't give me any more power. So it's 9 o'clock at night. I've got my phone on 50%, and that's it. Done. Got to get through the night with the phone on 50. Fortunately, my tablet was charged, so I put my phone into. It's got 2 power saving modes. I put it into the highest power saving mode, and I just watched some programs on the tablet, and just occasionally turn the phone on just to check if anyone was messaging me or anything. So this was Tuesday. I think I spent the whole night trying to get through the whole night, having run out of power, and we made it comfortably because, like I said, I've got the tablet, which was thanks to one of you guys. I haven't seen him around in a while. Own, EOGHAN, Own. You Welsh and your fancy names. Was he Welsh? No, hold on. Was he Welsh or was he Irish? Oh my God. I think he was Irish. I do apologise, Owen. Bad memory, guys. I told you, bad memory. But thank you, Owen, for everything. The watch, the tablet, the hard drive, which I still haven't got working again at the minute. It needs connecting to a Windows laptop to correct a problem with the file allocation table. Otherwise, my phone wants to reformat the entire drive when all that needs doing is a bit of data correction, a bit of error correction in the file allocation tables. Anyway, that's not where we're meant to be going. Off into techie stuff. So where were we? That was Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and again we've got this prediction of strong winds later in the day, but with it starting okay, with it starting quite nice. So Wednesday morning is where I did the 10 minutes just looking at the sea, the tranquil. I know the wind was popping the microphone a bit. If I had a better microphone, we'd maybe find a way around that. Somebody suggested a sock over the end of the phone, over the microphone. But my phone screen is a bit finicky if anything's touching it. It stops responding to touch and locks me out. So I can't put a sock over this end of the phone, unfortunately. Got to look at other options, folks, for the future. Maybe a wired microphone or a Bluetooth headphone or headset. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. Next time I've got some spare cash, which will be a while if I go ahead with this purchase. I'm almost certainly going ahead with it, folks. I've convinced myself. Karen's convinced me. Let's put it that way. My friend Karen, who isn't here at the minute, I don't think. The thing that I'm thinking of buying, in conjunction with some other things, will make such an upgrade to life here. That it seems like if I've got the option to get it, it would be silly not to. This is what I've been convinced of by people. So we'll see, folks, we'll see. Anyway, back to this. So when I was doing the tranquil video, the nature, the waves, and it was a little bit breezy. I commented that it was a little bit breezy on the cliff tops, but as soon as you came away from the cliff tops, not so much. But as I said, the weather forecast was for the winds to be building throughout the day and peaking. I'm not sure if this day was 35 kilometers or 40. One of the days was 40 kilometers winds, and they would start off from the end of the tent, like hitting the narrow endways onto the tent. But as the day progresses, they've been moving around and hitting us broadside. And as I said, the tent is 7 meters long. That's a big target, 7 meters long and 2 meters high. That's 14 square meters of surface or cross section to be hit by the wind. And when the wind's coming in at 40 kilometers an hour, that's a heck of a lot of force. I tried pulling one of these guy ropes to put it in tighter. I had no chance. I couldn't. I loosened it at one point and lost it. The rope ended up slacker than when I started because I couldn't put enough tension on to get it back where it was. And I'm no weed, you know. So yeah, it was interesting. So, as I said, Wednesday morning starts with a nice breeze, we'll call it, but builds. Sunny but wild, sunny day, but really wild. And then look here, my very next comment is for the afternoon. Holy shit! And I think I said that a few times on the video that I filmed Wednesday afternoon. This was the one where the wind was, where the tent was hitting the back of my head. This was the one where it was getting really, really bad. It looked like the tent could roll over. It was moving this way so much. These carbon fiber rods were creaking and bending and, they were really... The tent has pegs, 3 at that end, 3 at that end, and there are no pegs. There are no loops or anywhere to peg the tent itself. The guy line's going over there, but nothing, because it's all a fixed floor, and so the floor and the walls and the all one thing, but there are no loops to secure it along the length. So the whole thing was kind of rolling, looking like it wanted to roll. Like I said, fortunately, I got this big, I think someone said last week it's a Queen Anne armchair. I got this big armchair. I've got coffee tables, rugs, heavy boxes of food and a bag of dog food. I've got 2 mattresses, a chest of drawers. Don't ask. There are bottles of water in here, just for extra. But I had to put one this side by the door. Here, look. Let me demonstrate. I'll prove the point. So that bottle of water there by the door, I put that there. I moved that there. It was on the other side of the tent, but I moved it there as extra ballast because the floor was picking up and rolling. The whole tent looked like it was going to roll over, or it's trying to roll over. So I'd put that there for extra ballast. It's next to my television. Look, there's the back of the TV. 32-inch LED. I think LED TV. I looked it up online. It should use about 30 watts of power. We'll talk about this another time, folks. I'm not supposed to be talking about this, but 30 watts. What I'm looking at, I could power that for a little while. It's less than the fridge I'm looking at. Cooler box, picnic box with a 12-volt supply. I'm saying too much. Okay, back to Wednesday. These winds, they're building. The tent looks like it's going to roll over. It's the floor's lifting. I put the extra ballast there, and I go out this side of the tent and have a go at tightening these lines. But as I said, when I first did them in an emergency, when it got windy, just after we put the tent up, I just did a quick, I took a double, like a line, a loop of rope, and just did an overhand knot. So there was just one fixed knot at a fixed loop, no adjustment. And I just put the peg in with that taut at the time, with that nice and tight. But the tent peg's bent, it's twisted, it's been kind of pulled and levered out of the ground by the force. And because it's a bent peg, trying to hammer it back into the, have you ever tried to hammer a bent peg back into the ground? It's not always easy. I kind of managed it and got some strength on it eventually, but not enough. So what I ended up doing was undoing the loop that was there. I undid it entirely, put a new loop on, and then pulled as hard as I can and looped it back over the peg. So a shorter line in effect, but pulled with all the force I could muster, and I just got it over the peg. But it is probably a little bit too tight. I said this yesterday in a video, I think it was yesterday in a video. If I show you this, and those of you that know tents will tell me how wrong I'm doing it. Can you see just below, oh God, I can't see the screen myself. So just below the curtain, where the curtain hooks here, you see the elasticated hook thing here, and below you see the ripple in the fabric there. So this is where the guy line fastens to the tent, and you can see how it's pulling there now, because it's probably too tight. Let's have a look. I've been here a long time, Jasper, but I'm here illegally, so I don't know where I stand on all that. It's something to be straightened out with lawyers once I'm in possession of my money and can get proper lawyers, you know. My bank won't let me have my money, therefore I'm stuck. The public defender's not going to start looking into all this stuff for me. He's there just for one other thing, and he's not going to be doing a good job. Another day, mate, another day. Okay, storm, winds, hunkering down, in for the night. Now, I used to have what I called a storm protocol when the weather was really bad. Remember, guys, this field used to flood. So I had a procedure, I had things I had to have to hand, ready for an emergency. So my old rules were, back when I was just living under a tarpaulin and that was being held up by 6 broom handles, my storm protocol was to be fully dressed at night. During a heavy storm, to be in bed even with my shoes on even, so that I could jump out and just be ready if anything happened. Didn't want to be getting out of bed and looking for shoes that might have been washed away by a wave if we did get hit by floods. And when this field flooded, it used to be a wave. It didn't just build gradually, it came down the hills, was held back by some flood defences somewhere, storm drains or whatever, but when they got overpowered, whoosh, it would come down and hit literally a wave. So if your shoes are on the floor by your bed and you get hit, they're gone. Didn't want that. So when I was on my raised platform, if you look back, I built a bed. There's a video of it. Currently I'm just on mattresses on the floor again. We wouldn't be drove. Hello, my friend. That's a lovely name. I like that name. Storm protocol. In bed, fully clothed, shoes on, or if it's not quite so wild yet, shoes on the bed, on the raised platform, when I was on a raised platform. Currently I'm not on a raised platform, I'm just on mattresses on the floor. If something like a wave was to hit from a flood, even on the bed, probably, they'd be hit by the water. Hopefully being in a tent would give us an extra second or two, but I am still considering building a raised platform for the bed, building a bed. I've got all the material still, piles of bricks, beams and planks. It's easy enough. I'm just not 100% decided on the need yet. I'm seeing whether I can get used to this what are the odds of bad storms of that type, the torrential rain with floods, given the land defences they did here, the flood defences, the big trench they built at the top of the field for drainage. I don't think there's any danger of it flooding here anymore. In fact, everything is drying out and dying here through lack of water. That's another story for another day. But I've got my storm protocol, and recently I haven't really been following it. So, subscriber number 100, I don't know if you're still out there, my friends. They brought me a tent way back, a small, like I'm not sure if it's a 2-man or a 3-man tent, but it's my reserve tent, it's my emergency tent. If something goes wrong or I need to evacuate, it's something I can take and carry at short notice. So there's that. I've got a survival sleeping bag and survival jacket. These things, after we move from the old tent to the new, these things are all over the place. I want to pull everything back together. I want to reinstate my storm protocol, my readiness. My preppers would have their go bag or their get home bag. You know, the thing that you grab in the event of emergency that's got everything that you need. Some duct tape, some scissors, some rope, the mallet, some extra tent pegs, whatever, you know, the spare tent, the survival sleeping bag, all of those things. I want to get them in one box or bag or something, have them in one place in readiness. So this is something that came to mind because I was just sat here and the tent was just shaking like hell in these winds. Really, really, I mean, I was seriously worried. Obviously not worried enough to get off my backside and put together this kit that I'm talking about, but it's stuck in my mind as something that needs redoing. So yeah, storm protocol. So this was Wednesday into Thursday. It was just this all night. I mean, literally, it didn't stop. Or at least if it did, it was so late I couldn't tell you when it stopped. So, again, I've got a note here. Just because I rehearsed my storm protocol doesn't mean I did it. I woke up at 1 AM in the chair. So I didn't get to bed as early as I should have, even in the storm. I just kind of sat here watching the tent sway and bend and buckle. Watching videos. I'm watching a TV series called Avenue 5. I'd literally never heard of it. And someone mentioned it online. Hugh Laurie as a spaceship captain. Hugh Laurie as an actor pretending to be a spaceship captain within the programme. I've quite enjoyed it. I've only watched the first season so far. There are only 2. Apparently it didn't do that well. But I enjoyed what I watched. I'll get back to that when I've next got an hour or 2 to spare. Look at me. All the time in the world and I can't find time to watch TV. I don't know. Too much time clipping YouTube videos ready for you guys. Or preparing notes. So, Thursday. Like I said, woke up 1 in the morning in my chair. Eventually went to bed, because I always do in the end. But I released the big bad wind video, the one from Wednesday, showing the bad winds Wednesday. Yeah. So that was the morning, editing that, cutting that and preparing that and releasing that. I'm not sure what time of day I released it. On Thursday afternoon, get this, I knew that it was Easter, you know, the Easter week, Semana Santa, or Santa Semana, whichever way around they put those 2 words over here. Holy Week, so it's going to be Semana first for week and then Santa for Holy, or Saints Week. Semana Santa. I knew all week that it was the week leading up to Easter. So why on Thursday afternoon does it take me by surprise that tomorrow, the Friday, is Good Friday and that the shops might be closed? So there was a sudden panic, like at 8:30. Do I need? Have I got time to get to the shop or not? Or are they going to be open on the Friday? So a quick Google search turned into a long Google search because Google wouldn't find my nearest Mercadona for me. But eventually got there and found out that it was going to be open for a few hours the next day, so panic over. But it's just really weird that all week long I've known it was the Easter week, and yet on Thursday it took me by surprise that the next day was going to be Good Friday. Can't explain how that happens, folks. My mind's obviously just elsewhere with the winds and with whatever else that was happening. So yeah, what else? Anything else happened there? No, that was basically Thursday. Just surviving the winds again and trying to get any solar if I can. I've skipped a bit here, haven't I? I've skipped a bit. There was an apology needed. There was an apology for my friends Mark and Jeff. I'll clip this or send them the timestamp. When I released the video about my struggles with the solar power, and I showed the voltage fluctuating and I wasn't happy with the solar charge controller, I think I let my frustrations get the better of me a little bit, and I was a little bit condescending is not the right word, disrespectful of what they've given me. You know, I was calling it cheap and Chinesium and rubbish, and you know, my frustrations at not being able to get it to work the way I wanted, and or feeling that it was lesser than it had been before I made the change last week, led me to be a little bit disrespectful of my friends and everything they've done for me. See guys, I once upon a time all I had was one of those foldable, is it here? Not immediately to hand, I don't know where it is. Just one of those, it's like in a wallet, small foldable, you fold out 4 panels, put them in the sun. And that's all I had, and I was charging my phone directly off it. Didn't have power banks, didn't have anything. And, oh, well, I did before the floods, but that's a separate question. But after the floods, I didn't have anything. And the surface of my flexible, portable, foldable solar panels was becoming all crusty and white and cloudy. And it was losing efficacy, losing efficiency and effectiveness. And they contacted me because of one of my videos, and they said, we've got this, it was a single solar panel at the time, we've got this solar panel, battery box and charge controller. You can have it. No, we'll lend it to you. You can have it. You know, and then here I am a year or so later, cursing it, and in my frustration being a little bit disrespectful. So Mark, Jeff, I apologize. I apologize for my my demeanor, my disrespectful language about your solar setup. It was my frustrations getting the better of me. I do apologize. I think I said at one point, like, beggars can't be choosers, and that. I am so grateful for that, for the second panel, for the time you came and brought a swap out battery when we thought that the battery was no good, for bringing the second charge controller. Everything, guys, and the water and the water purification tablets, everything you've done for me. So I do apologize for my possibly disrespectful demeanor in that video. I hope I haven't offended you too much. Okay, folks, on with the show. I can't go around offending you guys too much, can I? I rely on you. You and your generosity and your helpfulness, and the people around me. Okay, guys, that was Thursday. As I said, into Friday, and the realization that that the shops are only open for limited hours. If you want to get any shopping done, you've got to get it done before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 9 while 3, go! So, this is Good Friday, or as I'm told my Scandinavian friends know it, Long Friday, in a literal translation. So, I'm sitting out having a coffee with Joby, the guy over in the other tent, the guy in the other part of the field. And we're in the sunshine. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic day for the weather, and in particular for solar. So we sat there, And I've mentioned this already in the earlier part, in the thank yous to this gentleman. Guy pulls up in the car and kind of picks his horn and waves, and, you know, over I go to him. 9:30 on a Friday morning. And he gives me a cold bottle of beer for the two of us to share. But Milado here won't, he doesn't drink very often. And that leaves me with a 1 litre cold bottle of beer at 9:30 on a Friday. What are you going to do? I mean, the good thing, the good thing to do would be to put it in the fridge and keep it for later. But there's no fridge yet. We'll get there. Maybe I'll tell you about it next week. If I haven't told you too much already. I can't keep my mouth shut, can I? You're good interrogators. You're getting it all out of me. Stop. So anyway, folks, there I am. Cold bottle of beer. I don't often get cold beer. The supermarkets I go in sell beer, but it's room temperature. It's just sat there warm. There's no way of cooling it here except the old trick I did last year. Wet towel out in the breeze. As it evaporates and dries, the evaporation causes cooling inside the bag, inside the pouch that you make with the towel. So I can get, if things are cool, I can keep them cool. I can stop them getting warmer. I can't really get things down cool. So when someone hands me a cold bottle of beer, I've got a dilemma. 9:30 in the morning as well. What's he thinking? But I opened it because, you know, tramp in a field gets given a cold beer. I can't just wait for it to go warm. That's against the law. That would have the Guardia Sizzle coming and getting me. Or the Guardia Sizzle, as they are now to be known, folks. So yeah, I drink this bottle as slowly as I can over the course of a couple of hours, sat in the baking heat, up to about 11:30, 12 o'clock. But remember, I've got to go shopping. And the guy in the field here, Joby, he's hurt his foot, so he's kind of trying not to walk on it. So he wants something from the shop, and I'm going anyway. So I go and I fetch some, fetch for him as well. And I got to get the shopping done. And it was fairly busy. You can imagine, yeah. A bank holiday, an Easter weekend. They're only open for 6 hours, 9 while 3, and it's 12 o'clock, or 12:30 by the time I get there. Anyway, I do the shopping, do what needs to be done, and come back. I've missed a bit, I do apologise. Okay. Before I sat with him having this coffee, and before I went out, I had a surprise visitor. This was one of the themes. The old friends. And are they even friends? So as the sun came up, well, as daylight broke, before the sun actually got up on the Friday morning, I thought I'd take the opportunity. I could see it was going to be a good day. The weather forecast said it was going to be good weather. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to get the solar panels out nice and early. And I have a chair that I turn to face the sun, and as the day progresses, I've got the panels leaning on it, and I adjust the lean depending on how high the sun is, and I turn the chair around to stay just ahead of the sun, and I put the panels out. And it's early. The sun is not above the trees here yet. I don't know. It's early anyway. It's early. And I put the panel out, and I'm just about to put out my light. I've got a solar lamp, a solar powered lantern that also just sits in the sun and charges itself directly. And this guy, I come into the tent, get the king, turn around and go at the door, and he's there in the doorway, or almost in the doorway. And Tina's going crazy because she knows him. In fact, he's got a dog, I've got a dog. We used to call each other Daddy whatever, I was Daddy to his dog, and he was daddy to my dog. It's like my two dads kind of, not gay, don't be like that. Just two blokes sharing an apartment. But I thought we were close. I thought we were good mates. We used to do things together. But one day he got a girlfriend and I had to move out. That's fair enough. There was a bit of confusion about. He told me she was coming over, and I thought it meant holiday, and he thought it explained that she was coming to stay permanent. So he'd intended for me to get out of that apartment. It's going back 2 or 3 years now. And I moved out, got my own place, and when things went bad and I had no money and I was about to be made homeless, obviously I turned to my friends, and they weren't there for me. And they were spreading rumours around about how I was a liar and how I'd been deceitful and how I was lying about my second bank account being my rainy day fund and me not actually being able to get access to my funds. So he was part of the rumour mill, poisoning everyone else against me. And then he's here on my doorstep, looking like there's something wrong with him, and looking like he needs help, and looking like he wants a friend. And I'm not sure I can do it. I don't think I can do it, guys. I don't think I can do it. I didn't realise this, but I've got a bitterness towards that entire group, really. But him in particular. He offered, so going back to when I was about to be made homeless, I didn't ask directly, can I stay with you, or can I stay in the apartment that we used to share. I didn't ask directly. What I asked was, can I leave my things with you? I'm about to be made homeless, but can you look after my things? He's got some storage space in a roof terrace, some storage sheds. And he said yes at first, but then 2 days later he contacted me and said, blah, blah, it's all your own fault. Go away. Goodbye and good luck. Boom, boom. 2 days before I was due to be made homeless. But now he's turning up on my doorstep. It's about the third. He's been here 3 times now. There's another day to come later, and I don't think I can be the friend for him that he seems to be looking for. I haven't told him yet. What was the word? Don't tell anybody. Okay, so after I've been shopping, my mate Joby, he brought a guitar out with him when he came out here. He's got this kind of collapsible guitar that it slots back together and a quick retune electric thing. Goes to an amplifier that he can run off his little solar panels. And he's never played for people before, but he's kind of got half an inkling that he wants to learn a few songs and maybe try a little bit of busking. And he's never played properly before. He's never played in front of people. So he had to go at putting on a little concert for me. I'm overstating it, a little concert, but he just sat there and twanged the strings for a while and played a few tunes. And I'll be honest, I was surprised. He was better than I thought he was going to be from what he'd said. He was shaking like a bloody leaf, though. I mean, he's holding the neck and his hands tremoring away, quaking in his boots, poor thing. But he managed, a few things that were passable. I didn't actually know any of the tunes, but all the notes were there, not necessarily in the right order. What was that? Clive Dunn, Grandad. Also, Morecambe and Wise, wasn't it, with Andre Preview. One for the Brits, Okay, so Friday's clicking on. My mate's over there having coffee. He's playing his guitar, and the wind's starting to pick up again, but not as bad as the weather forecast had said it was going to be. So that was a relief because they said it was going to be quite bad. So yeah, I was chatting with someone at night, Friday evening, and they wondered whether I might do okay for food donations to the camp, with it being Easter. Meaning people come on holiday and see my plight, and will bring when they leave usually, but sometimes not, sometimes before. Sometimes people bring over a bag of food. Often it's what's left. They're about to jump on a plane home to Sweden or Norway or UK, wherever, and they empty their cupboards and their fridge and sometimes bring it over. But so far this year, nothing. It's possible. You see, sometimes people are going home before Easter. They're going home at Easter. If they're living out here full time, they might go back to the UK, Sweden, Norway to see family at Easter, and then they'll bring them food. So I sometimes get some before Easter, when they're on their way out. And then the people who are here for Easter go home after Easter and bring a bag over. But so far, nothing. So I'm not. I think the big tent, the big shiny tent, makes me look. I look too well to do, don't I? I'm sat in this big armchair. I don't look like I'm a down and out. I don't look like someone who's homeless. I look like someone who's just chosen to live in a field and who's bought himself a nice big tent. Them's the pros and cons, folks. People were falling over themselves to help me when I had a broken down tent that was ripping in half. Swings and roundabouts, slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, all of that. So Friday night, folks, Friday night, and if you've been here a while, you'll have heard me talk about Friday Night Tights, my favourite internet programme of the week, by far. And for the last month, I haven't watched it. I keep sitting down to watch it, and either getting distracted away elsewhere, editing videos or chatting with someone, or I sit down and fall asleep. The last couple of weeks, I've missed the bloody beginning of it because daylight saving time. It's an American program. I got used to it being at a certain time, which was basically 10 o'clock over here in Spain. But they put their clocks forward 3 weeks before us. Threw me. Instead of starting at 10 o'clock or 10:30 here, it was starting at 9 o'clock or 9:30. I was missing the first hour when I was getting to it. So anyway, this week I was there. I was on time. I was ready to watch it, even though it was still an hour's difference because we'd not done the time change yet. And didn't watch it. I watched first half an hour. But then I distracted myself and lost the plot. I was behind with it, and so left it. So that brings us into Saturday morning. Saturday morning, folks. This is where the weather forecast is getting real bad. They're forecasting 40-kilometre-an-hour winds for the afternoon. Fortunately, I check again half an hour later, and now it's only 35 kilometres. Doesn't sound like much, but I know that we can survive 35 kilometres an hour. 40 is hellish. Now I wake up early on a Saturday. Oh, this was a point I didn't mention on the Friday. So normally Saturday and Sunday morning there's a disco going on somewhere. I said disco, nightclub, thumping bass line. You can hear it plainly from 2 in the morning. At 3 you hear a step change in the volume as they pump up the volume. It's still going at 6 and 7 in the morning, and at 7 you hear a change as they change to like a more of a chill out mood, maybe as they're emptying the place or just winding down. So Saturday morning I'm woken up by this thumping, bloody pounding bass line. Check the weather forecast, see it's going to be bad. But yeah, this was the morning where I released the what became eventually the Guardia Sizzle video, the clip from 2 weeks ago. I'm behind at releasing the clips from my previous TrampCasts. I'm behind at releasing them, so I'm releasing at the minute ones from 2 weeks ago rather than from last week. So this was where the Guardia Sizzle, or Guardia Sizzle as they're now known, this was the one where they came here, and I released this Saturday morning. I was about to have some quiet, Tina girl. Come on, birthday girl. No, let's have some quiet. Quiet. Let's have quiet. Shush, shush. Shush, shush. Just ignore the people. Just nice people's walking past. Okay, folks, there's a road just 5 meters this way. When people walk past that are noisy, she's gonna react. So anyway, Saturday, weather's gonna be bad. I've released this video, and I'm just sat in the tent. It's one of those days where hunker down, just wait for the day to pass. You're literally just waiting for the day to be over and the next day to begin. That's all you can do when the weather's going to be like that. So, this is where I got the good news that in the UK, you had better weather than us. Enjoy it while you can, it won't last. I speak from experience. Remember, my tent last year hit 50 degrees, 50 degrees Celsius. Beat that. Don't. It's not healthy. But it will get warm here soon. Going back to the purchase conundrum, folks. I might tell you about it next week. Okay. So I'm just staying in the tent most of the day. I hear that it's good weather back there, but this was when Karen reminded me, my friend Karen, she'd sent me a video of some bacon frying a couple of days earlier. She joked and asked me if I wanted a bacon butty, and she was making one for her family. And this was when she told me that I'd missed a trick with my Guardia Sizzle, with my bacon visitation video that I'd released. I could have intercut the frying bacon video of hers. I could have interspersed it throughout my video. But also the talk of sizzle, I made the pun, Guardia Sizzle, Guardia Sizzle. So I changed the title of the video later, just to try and play on that a little bit. This is when I did the Google search and found 0 results for Guardia Sizzle, I should say. There were 0 results. So I renamed my video, and a couple of hours later repeated the search, and there I was, ranking in the top 10, or in the top. Not only was I there, but there were now results for the term, which is interesting. So it went from no results to me being amongst the top few, and there now being some results. That's interesting. But yeah, there I was, ranking. We'll check later. I'll do an update to this video about where we're ranking for Guardia Sizzle. Childish, I know, and I think it's lost me some subscribers because people think I'm anti-police. I repeat, I have saved the lives of 2 police officers on separate occasions in the past. We need a police. I believe that the police are a necessary evil, but I think that they have to be kept in control by the society that allows them power over us. They have to be monitored. There have to be checks and balances in place. That's where I stand on police. Waking me up at 8:30 on a Sunday morning to try and evict me from land that you haven't even checked whether you've got the authority to evict me from. Just on a whim because you were driving by. Extending the stop after I've told you it's private land and got nothing to do with you. Extending the stop to bring in reinforcements. After the interaction's over, 4 of you staying here for 15, 20 minutes after the event. The lying to me, the barefaced lying, where they had the conversation and agreed that they weren't sure whether it was private land or public land and that it could be private. And then turning to me and telling me categorically, no, it used to be private, but now it's public. It's been taken over by the local authority. I just watched them have the bloody conversation where they agreed with each other that they didn't know. That is an abuse of authority. That is tyranny. That is the sort of thing that we should fight back against. The last time that they came and they actually arrested me and emptied my pockets and threw my possessions in the fucking road or in the hedge next to the road. They need reining in. So am I anti-police? On the whole, no. Have I put my life on the line and stepped in where angels fear to tread to defend the life of police officers? Yes, on multiple occasions. Anti-police, no. Anti-tyranny, yes. You see how angry I get just talking about this? So guys, if you were thinking of unsubscribing because I'm anti-police, whatever, make your own choices. Okay, Saturday continues. Guardia Sizzle. You see, I turn a fun little pun into a rant and get angry with myself. Now this is where the wind's really picking up. Not as bad as the initial forecast had said, but Saturday evening, this is where the wind gets so bad it's lifting the floor and trying to turn the whole tent over. This is why I put the 8-litre bottle of water over by the tent there as ballast, just to hold the tent down from the inside. It's okay having armchairs here in the middle of the tent and 2 mattresses at that end, but if this end and the middle are trying to go over, I need some weight, I need some ballast in here. So that's what I did. A couple of water bottles placed around the tent, and again I checked the guy lines and I had to tighten one. Not so much tighten the lines, this tent pegs twist, so the hook, like I said, they're kind of a 7 shape. The hook that's pointing away will twist this way, and then the rope will just come, even though it's in at a 45-degree angle, because of the buffeting with the tent, the rope slackens when the tent moves and can unhook from around the peg. What also can happen is the peg gets levered up, so instead of being in at a 45-degree angle, it gets pulled and straightens, and then you haven't got as tight a line, you've got a slacker line. So I went out with my mallet and made some adjustments. I am Thor. Me and my mallet, me and my hammer. Okay. So this is Saturday night. If you know anything about me on Saturday night, you know that I have 2 programs I like to watch on the Saturday night and 1 on the Sunday morning. I messed it up again, guys. I messed it up again. Big Clive Live, I like to watch. Big Clive's great. He's fun, he's a laugh. The chat on his stream are a laugh. And I was awake through all of it, but I was in conversations elsewhere. I was distracted somewhat, but I watched it on the whole, and I was there kind of to the end-ish. I missed the switch over from him to the next guy. They hand over electronically, you get passed straight to the next stream. That guy called Scruff Dog. And I managed to say hello in Scruff Dog's stream, and I was there for the first maybe half an hour. Then I was fast asleep. Fast asleep. Okay, guys. So this is where we go into Sunday. And again, I was putting out my solar panels, and then I put out the little lamp, the little light. And when I turn around again, this bloody big bloke's like 6'4". This guy, 6'4". It's beautiful Tina's birthday. If you weren't here before, Sunny Beach Walks 4K. And give me an email. I responded to you. Give me an email. Delta Mike Torrevieja at gmail.com. And it'll be linked in the description and wherever else that in most of my videos. It might not be in this one yet. Probably isn't. But I turn around after putting my solar panels out first thing Sunday morning, and there's this giant, you know, he's a hulking great guy. I don't want to say too much about him because I don't want to give away his identity or anything. People who know him know him. People who know me from back in the day will know him. But I'm not sure how I feel about people I know from real life. It's embarrassing, my current predicament. It's also embarrassing that people weren't there. Not embarrassing. Like I said, there's a bitterness or a resentfulness within me to people who knew me before and who haven't helped. But this guy's off his head. So Saturday into Sunday we've had the time change, the clocks change. And he's come here at 8:20 telling me all about how he's meeting somebody at 7:30. Now his phone has done the +1 hour. So when he looks at that, it's got the right time, but his watch, he hasn't changed, he hasn't updated. And so he's supposed to be meeting someone in what should be 10 minutes, but he's already missed it by 50. And when I explained to him that he's got the time wrong and that he needs to go if he's wanting to meet this person, he then said, no, I told them yesterday I won't be there today. And I'm like, that doesn't add up. You just contradicted your own story. And this is where I'm getting the idea that his meds are not right. He's not in balance. Another thing, his best friend, Henrik. If you're out there, if you're watching, Bugger still owes me 50 euros. Let him know. The day I moved out, I lent him 50 euros to go and pick up his girlfriend at the airport. He's watched me become homeless. He's had money and he hasn't offered to pay me back. Again with a resentfulness. Hello, Karen. Tina says, thank you. Don't you, Tina? You say thank you to Auntie Karen. Let's show you. Here she is, look. Laying down on the bed. Hey, Auntie Karen says, happy birthday. Yeah. Okay, don't look too excited. Auntie Karen. Yeah. I think she was just on the cusp of being asleep when I called her name. Okay, guys, where are we? We're into Sunday morning and this guy, this old friend from my past being here. I don't think I've got it in me to... He needs help. I can see there's something wrong. But I don't think I can be the guy to help. A, I'm not in a position to. But B, I'm not in a position to. I think our friendship is over. I think our friendship was over when he let me go homeless and when he turned around and wouldn't even store my things. Even though he's got the space. Had the space. I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh. There's conflict going on in my head. There's dissonance, cognitive dissonance. I'm arguing with myself. Because if he goes away and does something stupid, I'll blame myself, won't I? But I don't think I can emotionally blackmail myself with that. I don't think I'm the person to be helping him right now. So anyway, that's a few times he's just appearing at the tent. Okay. Like I said, he was awkward, he was disjointed, he was incoherent, he's... Anyway, after he left, my mate Joby came over to wish me happy Easter. And he brought me a little present, which was nice. Not chocolate. He brought me a carton of wine. So that's nice. I should have added Joby to the thank yous. Joby, I'll make a note. Oh, we're exactly on 2 hours, kind of. Joby, thank you, my friend. It's appreciated. I'll be having a toast to you later. Okay. He hasn't actually got the internet. He won't get to see this unless I show it to him. But thank you, Joby. You will see this one day. I'll make sure of that. Thank you, my friend. Okay. Sunday afternoon, I spent prepping for this, trying to get my notes in order, because I'd been a little lax again with my note taking through the week. I really hadn't been doing a good job of documenting what was happening, so I've had to piece it together from looking back through chats and things when people have asked me what kind of day have you had and what's happened. I've had to build my notes retrospectively, which is why there's a little bit of jumping about and a little bit of forgetting things and being reminded of things after the event. And of course, in the end, I didn't do the TrampCast yesterday. The wind picked up again in the afternoon, and I cancelled, partly because of the wind, partly because my notes weren't good enough at that point to, they weren't complete enough. I wasn't confident that I could wing it with whatever this is, this spiel, this talking to the camera. Just give me a second, folks. Just give me a second. Quick swig of coffee. Drink if you're drinking at home. Like I said, this is just black coffee. And I know someone's going to ask me to prove it, so we'll just do that now. I don't know whether... Did that work? Oh, I was about to say something clever. I can't remember what now. What was I talking about? Somebody tell me quick in the chat. I distracted myself with coffee. Oh, I've lost it. It was Sunday afternoon, wasn't it? No, I can't remember. I had a thought. It's rare, I know. No, I'll have to come back to it another day, maybe. Okay, folks. The wind picked up, and I did the cancellation video, which I don't like doing. YouTube doesn't really like 3-minute videos. They want you to either keep them under a minute or make them bigger and better and longer. As I said before, if enough of you watch enough of this stream, this should take me over the monetization hurdle, the first one. Not the ad revenue, but the memberships and the super chats and that other stuff, which we're probably not going to use because YouTube takes 30%. If anybody wants to send me a donation, rather than super chats, I'd rather they use PayPal, because minus a small fee, I get it all. Super chats within YouTube system, YouTube keep 30%. You have to register for tax, I believe, and also you only get the payments periodically. You know, you might have to wait a month or more for the payment. So I don't want to go that route. So anyone who is looking to send a donation, got to get the grift on, haven't I? Anyone who is looking to send a donation, PayPal is in the it's in the description of every video, and it's usually in the pinned comment of each video. So if you do want to help out, if you are in a position to, that's how you can do it, folks. So yeah, that basically, that cancellation yesterday brings us up to date with my week. So what we do now, guys, a quick chat about what's upcoming this coming week. And if we'd have been doing this on Sunday, I would have been telling you all about how it was Tina's birthday this week. But that's now, isn't it, girl? Look at her, she's moved. She's moved further over in the bed. Hey, babe. Yeah, that's my Tina girl. Yeah. You haven't helped Daddy find his lost shirt, have you? No. You might have helped him lose it. There's the birthday girl, folks. So that was item 1 on the upcoming for this week. What else have we got? Tidying the camp, would you believe? Strong winds have a habit of taking us backwards in the attempts to tidy up around here. For some reason, things move when the wind blows. So the empty water bottles, we spend days chasing those and getting those back. Even though I've tried to tie a rope through them and put them through a brick and you know, the combined force of them clanking and blowing in the wind, the rope withers or gets undone, or I can't keep them all in one place. They move. So we've got to finish tidying the camp, and once that's done, I want to make a start tidying the tent. Unbelievable, I know. Been here, what is it now? Is it a month? 3.5 weeks, something like that, I think. It's a mess in here. I need to get my shelving units sorted. They've got a lean like that on them. They need squaring off, and then I can store things on multiple levels. I picked up a shelving unit. Let me show you this. I think this was this week. I picked up this little thing. And there's only certain bits of ground within the tent that are even enough on the floor, that are level enough for it to stand up. But if it's in the right place, it stays level and I can put things on, stay organised. So yeah, no, it's okay. Just waving at people walking past. Calmate, amiga mia. Tranquilo. Basta. Tina, sufficiente. Lay down. Spanish dog, I have to speak Spanish sometimes too. Okay guys, tidying up the tent. Using up food. I have got some food here. I got a 5 kilogram bag of potatoes. I must have had them, I kid you not, 6 weeks. I haven't opened them, I don't think. I don't think I've taken a single potato out of this bag. I got some other things. I got some red cabbage. There's other beans. I got some beans. Remember the big plastic box from Andy? Mountain View Farm, if anyone's looking for produce in the Torrevieja area, Torrevieja and surrounding area. Mountain View Farm. There's a link in most of my descriptions. Just click the read more, and he'll be in there. I still got some produce from that. I still got some bits and pieces that Karen brought her last visit. I got to get this food used up. These big windy days, I can't use the barbecue. It blows out and gas leaks and pools, and it's just a waste. You have to cook for twice as long because the flame's not under the pan, it's off to the side with the wind, or blown out entirely. So I want to start getting some cooking done and using some food. Also, Karen brought me a loaf tin and a Yorkshire pudding tin. So there's that. Watch out for some kind of cookery video in the next week or two. I haven't done one in a while. You lucky people. Cooking in a field with a tramp. What the fuck? And finally, here's a promise I'm going to make now. Before the next TrampCast, I might do an extra actually. I might do a special, but before the next scheduled TrampCast, once I can confirm monetization, I may just do an extra TrampCast. You know, a special. But before the next scheduled one, this time next week, next Sunday, possibly Monday, you never know, I will have done some fishing. I don't know whether I will have done it successfully or not. But I will have done some fishing. I make this promise now. Otherwise, I'll never get around to it, will I? Andy gave me those fishing rods. That must be a month ago, must it? It's a good few weeks. 3 weeks maybe? I'd have to check back through my notes. Or watch some videos. But I gotta get on with that. If I don't do it soon, I'll never do it, will I? Gotta get off my backside. Give it a try. So guys, that's what I've got upcoming this week. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you haven't done so already, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you've watched more than 2 or 3 of my videos and you haven't subscribed, that would be a good time to consider it, wouldn't it? Make it easy on yourself. Receive notifications whenever there's going to be a new video or a new live stream. Okay, if any of you are wanting to go back and watch, if you missed the beginning and you're wanting to go back, when I end the stream, YouTube will make it private. I'll need a couple of minutes to go in, tweak a couple of settings, and then you should get access back again. Okay guys, we will finish with the birthday girl, and in the tradition, give me a second. Hey Tina, happy birthday girl. From Tina, the birthday girl. And from me, Delta Mike, out.